Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. The coffee was hot. The morning light was soft and golden, spilling through the curtains of Nina's apartment like everything was perfectly fine. Like the world hadn't already decided that today would be the day absolutely everything would change forever. Nina was standing at her kitchen counter in her oversized sweater, scrolling through her phone, completely unaware that in approximately 47 minutes, her entire understanding of her best friend, her person, the woman she had trusted with every secret, every tear, every 2 a.m. breakdown for the past 11 years, would be shattered into 1,000 irreversible pieces. She had no idea. She had absolutely no idea. The knock at the door came at 9:13 a.m. Nina almost didn't answer it. She almost let it go. She had a work deadline, a pile of laundry, and half a cup of coffee that still needed her full attention. But some invisible cosmic nudge that she would later describe as the universe grabbing me by the shoulders, made her set down her mug and walk to the door. And there was Willow. Willow, who always looked effortlessly put together. Willow, who could walk into any room and immediately become the most magnetic person in it. Willow, who never, not once in 11 years, had shown up unannounced, mascara smudged beneath her eyes, hands trembling like leaves in a storm. "I have to tell you something," Willow whispered, "and I need you to let me finish before you say a word." Nina felt her stomach drop 6 floors. She stepped aside, let her in, sat across from her on the living room couch with her cold coffee forgotten on the counter, watching her best friend fold and unfold her hands like she was trying to figure out how to hold herself together. The silence stretched for 10 seconds, 20, 30, and then Willow looked up, and Nina saw it. Not guilt exactly, but something heavier than guilt, something that had clearly been carried for a very, very long time. "I've been lying to you," Willow said, "about almost everything." What came next took 23 minutes to say and 11 years to understand. It started small, or at least it seemed small in the way that a single crack in a dam seems small before the water comes rushing through. Willow confessed that the story she'd told about how she and her ex, Marcus, had broken up, the version where she was the wronged party, the victim, the one left behind, that wasn't the truth. She had been the one to walk away, but not before doing something that had quietly, profoundly affected Nina's life in a way Nina had never been allowed to know. 3 years ago, when Nina had interviewed for her dream job, the one she didn't get, the one she had cried about for weeks, the one she'd always assumed just hadn't worked out, Willow had been connected to someone on the hiring panel, and she had said something. Not something cruel, not something obviously malicious, but something carefully worded and strategically placed that had tilted the scales just slightly out of Nina's favor. Why? Because at the time, Willow had been terrified that if Nina got that job, she would move across the country, that she would build a new life in a new city, and slowly, inevitably stop needing her. And Willow, perfect, magnetic, effortless Willow, was more afraid of being left behind than she had ever been able to admit, even to herself. "I told myself I was protecting our friendship," Willow said, her voice barely above a whisper now. "But I know that's not what it was. I was protecting myself, and you paid for it." Nina didn't speak for a long time. The apartment was so quiet that they could both hear the distant sound of traffic 7 floors below, the whole city going about its business, completely indifferent to the fact that something enormous had just happened in this particular living room on this particular Tuesday morning. When Nina finally spoke, her voice was steady in a way that somehow felt more devastating than tears would have. "How long have you been waiting to tell me this?" "Every single day," Willow said, "since the day I did it." 3 years. 3 years of Tuesday coffee dates and birthday dinners and late-night phone calls and road trips and all the 10,000 ordinary moments that make up a decade of friendship, and underneath every single one of them, this. Nina stood up, walked to the window, pressed her forehead against the cool glass, and looked down at the street below, where strangers were walking dogs and hailing cabs and drinking coffee without any idea that the ground could shift like this, that the people you trusted most could be keeping whole rooms locked away from you. Then she turned around, and what she said next, what she chose to say in that moment to the woman who had both broken her and loved her faithfully in the same breath, was something that neither of them would ever forget. She said, "Tell me everything, and don't you dare leave anything out."